guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Hopefully it finds you all doing well today. 3 quick tips to help you with progression inside the game. These are tips that I don't know about you guys. I don't know where you do the most of your raiding. Where do you play Raid Shadow Legends?
I don't know.
Me, I'm very embarrassed to say it's either on the couch, in bed, or awkwardly in parking lots. I find myself oftentimes like in the gym before I go in, I'll be like just 5 minutes of doing X, Y, or Z in Raid, and then next thing you know, a half an hour went by and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Anyway, guys, as I'm playing, what I tend to do is, obviously I'm on mobile most of the time, so I go into the notes and I just write down kind of tips as I think of them. Basically, anytime I think to myself, wow, this is a good idea. I wish I was doing this method on X, Y, or Z a lot sooner. I write it down. I don't think any of these tips warrant a standalone video, but I'm putting 3 of them combined. And let's go ahead and kick things off with Faction Wars, okay? So do your Faction Wars, okay? Tip number 2.
Here are the turtles!
I'm just joking. Tip number 1 is obviously do your Faction Wars. You know, a little bonus tip for you guys, if you're lucky enough to get to stage 21 in Faction Wars, you should be farming stage 20 outside of Clan vs. Clan. You want want the full points of stage 21. But stage 20 has the same exact odds of pulling higher rarities on the glyphs, right? Higher star rankings on these glyphs. So you can save a lot of time oftentimes just by going stage 20 versus 21. That's not the tip though. The tip is actually, guys, believe it or not, for a long time, and maybe some of you guys do the same thing that I did. I don't know. I'm not proud to say this now, given how important it's been since I stopped doing this, but taking advantage of the first 3 stages of every single faction crypt, right? So whether you're end game and you can clear every faction, or whether you're just kind of starting out, oftentimes in the past, on both this account and my free-to-play, I was reluctant to go ahead and use my last 2 keys on these 1-star glyph areas. And then when I started doing it a few months ago, my word, I can't tell you guys the number of times I've been happy to have a 1-star glyph. First of all, speed tuning is the first example, right? Speed tuning, sometimes you just need 1 speed, you know? 1 speed, but you don't want more. You don't want to throw away a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6-star glyph, right?
Just pick one. They all cost the same.
That's number 1, is speed tuning. I love it. If I need 1 speed, I got 1 speed. I got a stockpile of 1-star glyphs, right? Speed glyphs. But also, you can use this on, like a nuker, for example. You're normally not going through with your nuker and perfectly min-maxing every single one of their defensive stats or their HP stats. Usually nukers, you care about HP and defense, but you're primarily focused on getting like really nice attack glyphs on them. But what I like to do is especially champions I don't use a ton of, I will go ahead and just glyph out in 1-stars, right? Because every little bit definitely counts. And as you guys know, glyphing 6 artifacts or 9 artifacts plus accessories on your account on a champion will make a big overall impact, even if a lot of them are just 1-star glyphs. So that's tip number 1, is don't ignore these stages. 1-star glyphs is something that I absolutely love in this game. Never sell glyphs too. I don't even know why there's an option to sell glyphs. Never sell glyphs. You can use every glyph, you know? So tip number 2, guys, is gonna be about Tag Team Arena. And the idea here is to really just maximize and make it easy to farm gold bars every single day, right? So this tip does not apply to the 1% of you guys out there who use all 20 or more of your Tag Team Arena battles every single day. This applies to almost everybody else who, you might use some fights here and there, maybe during Clan vs. Clan, maybe use 5 a day instead of, 20 a day just to get your Faction Wars key from Advanced Quest, your extra 6 keys. But this is the new method that I use, and I love it, guys. So what I do is I start out by going to Tag Team Arena even before Faction Wars every single day. And the first thing I do every day is I push to the highest league possible, right, every week. And I try to, the last 1 or 2 days of the week, Saturday or Sunday, I don't use this method. So I stay in the league that I'm at and I get my full gold bars reward every single week from the highest league that I can get to, depending on where your account is, right? So I come in here and I throw 5 battles. Right out the gate, I'm throwing the matches. So this is where it's gonna be like super time efficient. Why 5? Because 5, again, is the number of tag team battles that you need to get your extra 6 Faction War keys, aka a bunch of extra glyphs, right? So I quit the entire series, boom, and I do that 5 times in a row. What that's gonna do is it's gonna give me an easy 6 keys for Faction Wars, and it's also gonna bring me down far enough inside tag team that now on the rest of my 10 or 15 keys, sometimes I throw 10 matches, especially if I need to lose more trophies. Sometimes I throw throw 15 if I don't have a lot of time to play the game, right? But I'm throwing all my keys essentially every day. And what I'm doing is after I throw a few matches, I'm just going to pretend that I threw a bunch more. I refresh and bada bing. I get all these easy teams because I've fallen far enough in my league, and that's where all the easy teams are, right?
Todd Jacobson, you have the right to do whatever you want. Nothing you say or do can be used against you by anyone, but we'd really like it if you came with us. Please and thank you.
So then I come in here with the rest, then I claim my advance, then I go to Faction Wars. If I can think today, geez, man. Then I.
Sonic speed.
So I go to my Faction Wars. I use all my keys. I come to my advanced quests. I claim again my free refill. I take my refill, and then easy tag team farming from there. And every day, as long as you're losing trophies as well, it just really makes for an efficient way to farm up gold bars. That's a lot easier than having to slog out. Sometimes tag team arena can be fun. To me, at least, it can be fun to just kind of strategize and have fun and try to beat all like difficult teams. And I love doing that. But in terms of just sheer farming for my time, not necessarily most efficient in terms of resources because we are throwing away some of our, tag team battles, but I'm saving so much time. I'm getting a bunch of gold bars this way as well to use in the Bazaar. And the Bazaar, truthfully, has really never been better, right? I'm able to actually buy Sacred Shards and Legendary Skill Tomes on the cooldown and accessories every day without going broke using this strategy. All right, tip number 3, guys, is going to be something totally unrelated to Faction Wars and Tag Team Arena, and it's going to be about min-maxing your champions, right? So this is something that I wish I started doing a long time ago. Step number 1 is kind of make a little list, right, on paper if you want to, on your note app or whatever. Make a list of your most important champions on your account. It's going to be different for every account, right? What's most important champions that you use in the most areas of the game, right? The widest variety of teams, and champions that you just rely on the most, obviously, right? So those are your most important champions.
Holy shit.
There we go. Go figure, Ash. So after you identify who they are, number 2 is figure out in a perfect world, what is the ideal stats on all of their artifacts. We're talking main stats first and then substats. So if I was going to build the world's strongest Siphi the Lost Bride, what would she need to have on every single substat, right? So I think about that. Okay, HP, we don't want attack. Ideally, this defense ring would be defense percentage, defense flat stat, HP percentage, HP flat stat, right? So it's not quite there, but it's still a really good ring, right? But we should know what we're trying to work towards, right? And then after you've identified the perfect build, about once a month, once every other month, especially during times where they have the discount of swapping your artifacts, right? This is when everybody should be taking an opportunity to min-max your most important champions on your account. So what do we do here? We look at all their pieces, essentially, right? Every single one of the artifacts. So if I identify my 5 most important champions on my account, my 10 most important champions on my account, I go through them all one at a time. And again, I do this every month or two. I go through them all one at a time, and I look at every piece. And I think to myself, could this be improved upon? We gain a lot of artifacts in this game, and it's easy. And I've caught myself doing this so many times. I'm sure if you haven't realized, it's happened to you too. But you'll have champions that you rarely ever use with better gear than some of the champions that you use all the time. So step 1 is important to identify what you need on those champions in the best case scenario. And step 2 is being vigilant about going through and checking. You can also use Hell Hades Artifact Multiplier, or excuse me, Optimizer. Multiplier would be weird.
Indeed.
Optimizer, which I'll include in the show notes below for you guys. But what I do essentially is I just filter, and I filter equipped, and then I choose. We have identified the perfect substats and the main stats. So I'm going to go ahead and move myself over for a second here and get my arm back. There we go. So let's say on Dracomorph, I want crit rate, I want crit damage, I want accuracy, and I want attack percentage, okay? Those are the substats that I want. I'm going to go to equipped, and, I don't have a ton of artifacts on my entire account with those stats, but let's see what I have here. So we have crit rate, accuracy, attack, and crit damage. We're losing crit rate, we're gaining speed, gaining a little defense, losing, well, it's a defense chest, so we don't want that on Dracomorph. But the idea here is we're going to move through all of these artifacts in every single area. This is just, well, this is actually every area, my bad, I thought it was just weapons. So we're going to see what I have available, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, listen, we have plenty of accuracy, we don't need accuracy here. So you get rid of accuracy, right? And you have the rest of the stats now, and you have a kind of a wider, you can kind of pare down to what you really need for these champions. So again, I see a lot of players out there just using some good artifacts or some better artifacts that are on their main champions on some of their, you know, less used champions in the game. And the beautiful thing is, even if I take an artifact off of Dracomorph and I put it on I take a champion, let's just say a champion that I love that I don't use a ton compared to Dracomorph. Let's say Magnar, for example, right? I don't use Magnar a ton, but let's say I needed to take really good crit damage gauntlets off of Magnar and put them on Dracomorph. The good news, if I can ever find Magnar here we go. The good news is, guys, let's just say I really wanted these gauntlets, right? I don't even know how, they're not even that great, but they're 5-star. But let's say I really want to put these on Dracomorph. All I would do is just swap, right? So it's not like Magnar is taking a massive hit. I'm just using whatever I had on Dracomorph in that position, and I'm swapping those gauntlets right on him. So really, the other champions, if you're taking it from another champion that you use a lot, you're not necessarily, you know, really handicapping yourself to a large extent. The other champions aren't that bad. They're just getting like hand-me-down gear. So really identifying the stats, filtering for those stats, and upgrading, especially during those artifact removal events, upgrading the artifacts and min-maxing all of your champions that you use the most is something that you should always be working towards in this game. Even if you're not an endgame player, just trying to, you know, make the champions that you use the most even better, right? So guys, those are my 3 tips for you. Hopefully it helped some of you guys out there. Let me know which tip that you use, if you use any of them right now, or if you have a different way of doing things. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, invite you to subscribe to the channel. If not, well, thanks for watching anyway, guys. I appreciate it, and as always, take care, guys.